Travis Wayne Goodsell. It's just one of those days. It makes you think that everybody's out to get you, and they're all in on it. They all know. They all coordinated. All struck at once. So, apparently, the breaking news yesterday is not getting enough attention. I didn't word it correctly, I guess. So I'm going to title it a different way, and redo this video. On the 15th of January, 2021, a week and a half after the insurrection in Washington, D.C. by MAGA, which Mormons were involved in. Again, I have two videos that I want to do. One of them involves the seeds that we can know once we've produced fruit from those seeds. That's what people don't get, is they say that, oh, you can't judge somebody for their beliefs, or people have free speech to speak whatever they want, because it's not a crime to speak your opinion and your beliefs. No, once we have produced fruit from a belief, we now know whether it's good or bad, and we can go on record and inform others, warning them of how bad that seed is. Do not get that seed. Stay away. It will lead to insurrection or death from COVID, etc., etc., or worshiping Lucifer. And so it's a simple principle, but yet nobody cares. They all want to be evil. And so, yeah, I can tell you, it will lead to destruction. I'm warning you, those beliefs that you are having to be evil will lead to destruction, just like everything else that's going on here. So, here's the church prophets giving an official statement on the 15th of January 2021, the day after their weekly meeting on the 14th of January 2021. They have their weekly meetings. Even with coronavirus, they've still managed to hold them. They can't hold them at the Salt Lake Temple. They have to meet in the administration room or building, I guess, in a room there. Because I'm pretty sure they don't even bother to protect themselves from coronavirus, since 3 have already gotten it. Did you know there were 3? You've probably heard about the first 2. Did you know there was a 3rd? Elder Soares. They sort of snuck that in the church news. Didn't want people to know about that. And so, if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm suing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Oh, I'm an antichrist. I'm a Korahor. Why can't I just leave the church alone? Well, they committed crimes. You know, there's this First Amendment thing. After you get through freedom of religion and freedom of speech, there's this thing called the right to petition your government for a redress of grievances. Lawsuits. And when people commit a crime against you, such as depriving you of life, liberty, and property, you get to sue. You're supposed to get a prosecuting attorney, just as a person who's accused has the right to a defense attorney. But in the state of Utah, no prosecuting attorney wants to take on the church. So I have to do it pro se litigant guide and go through a civil lawsuit rather than a criminal lawsuit. Isn't that nice? Remember Oaks' talk in October conference? You know why I'm pissed. And so you will also remember from watching my email or videos on a regular basis that because the fourth judge in this latest lawsuit refuses to recuse and immediately sanctioned me with a censorship, that I can no longer file anything. They will not be recognized until she deals with the first three that she mentioned. And so it's going on 3 months, and she's been silent the whole time. So yes, I'm a little bit pissed about that too. And so my latest email, because that's what I've been doing instead, is sending emails of all the additional evidence that are cropping up as a result of her illegal sanction. And so with the insurrection, and since then, I've sent several emails talking about how the church is involved. If you understand the lawsuit is under RICO, which is criminal organizations, sedition. And wouldn't you know it, a sedition coup d'etat of America occurred. I was trying to warn from the beginning, hey, we need to stop this. I can stop it. I'm whistleblowing. Hello? Anybody there? Nobody replies. Nothing but Mormon crickets. And so all Mormons know that the 12th article of faith says that we believe in rejecting kings, presidents, magistrates, presidents, rulers, whatever, and not sustaining the law. Right? It's the insurrection article of faith. Right, Mormons? Mormons, what do you mean you gave up and you ran away and you put a thumbs down and in place? And so, yes, the church finally were forced by their lawyers, because they contradict themselves. They came out with a statement like a month after the election saying that we acknowledge Biden winning the presidency or something like that. I don't even know if they said acknowledge, we congratulate, or whatever crap they worded it. This, they took it back. And so I've been pointing out that the church is complicit with their silence, and that's why Mormons were involved. That's why Mormons are MAGA. That they believe that the QAnon, that the deep state Dems are space alien pedophile Satanists. Mormons believe that the deep state Dems are outer space aliens, Satanist pedophiles. Mormons, how many times do I have to repeat this until you catch on? If you can hide a kolob in the twinkling of an eye, and then continue onward to Salt Lake City Temple, the Keystone, with the inverted pentagram of Lucifer, and the issue with the Boy Scouts of America, among others. The teen girls here in Utah, for example. And so again, Mormons, how did they get so twisted? Nonetheless, it's the leaders that are the cause. So the breaking news that nobody's wanting to come to, because the YouTube employees most likely are going, oh crap, how do we need to put some extra censorship on Travis's account here. And so, church leaders condemn violence and lawless behavior during times of unrest. During times of rest, it's okay. They don't condemn it then. Like I said, they were forced to word this, or read this, or put it out. Somebody else put it out. It's not them. It's their lawyers who would have come to them with the latest email on the 14th and gone over it with them on the 15th, or it was the 13th, and so then the 14th they went and had their meeting, and then this is the result on the 15th, Friday night, they put it up. And how many of you pay attention to the church news over the weekend, especially Friday night? That's why it's called the Friday night news dump, is because certain politicians don't want certain things to be known about. That's why businesses fire you on Friday, so that you have the weekend to cool off, rather than going postal, which has become a word on Webster, I guess. But, yeah. Members reminded of their covenant and sacred responsibility to follow the Savior. And that's where I blew it with the title. Because it's a whole new covenant in following the Savior. Because that's not the 5 in the temple. Do I have to go over them with you again, Mormons? Because you didn't watch the other video? Oh wait, Mormons are gone. They've already left. Going, no! Fake news! Fake news! It's not true! Church is true! Quit persecuting us, Travis! We have the right to do whatever we want. It's not a crime! Sedition is not a crime! Disobeying Joseph Smith and his prophecy that the government would collapse and the Constitution hang by a thread, be on the brink of ruin. It's not true. So, yeah. So a message from the First Presidency and Quorum of the 12 of Apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So according to Oakes, in a not too distant conference, therefore we understand that this is now official doctrine of the church, not in a statement. So, but they aren't calling it that, are they? The family proclamation, the proclamation of the Savior that they gave, those things, this is all of them united. This is what they agreed to, and they're now saying that Biden did not win. That Trump is the legitimate winner. And I will get to it as soon as there you are, find the file. So hold on a second while I make a file to put those in. Alrighty, so I've held you long enough, 14 minutes already, after 14 minutes. Principles of government that allow God's children to maintain human dignity and freedom belong to all mankind. Doctrine and Covenants 98:5. With great concern, we observe the political and cultural divisions in the United States. And they came out and condemned the Black Lives Matter movement as domestic terrorists. Remember that. Last year, wasn't long ago, Nelson and Oaks both came out and condemned the Black Lives Matter protests in their own special way. And around the world, we condemn violence and lawless behavior. So they're not talking about the insurrection until this extended sentence, including the recent violence in Washington, D.C. Violence? You mean insurrection. They won't acknowledge it as an insurrection, as an attempted coup d'etat, as an attempted murder of congressional leaders. And any suggestion of further violence. While the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is neutral, BS. You just revealed you're not. The manner in which you word things, lawyer speak, or political speak, or diplomatic speak, that's all indicators that you're covering something up and that you're trying to hide and that you're guilty of something. You need to come right out and say it. Neutral in any matters of party politics. Yes, the insurrection was just party politics. We remind our members, whatever their individual political views, MAGA, to be united in our commitment to the Savior. Oh, okay, not to commit insurrection. All right, fine, they can do that. Jesus Christ and his teachings. As his followers, we should treat one another and all of God's children with respect, dignity, and love. Yeah, as long as they conform and comply to us, right? No political or other affiliation should supersede that covenant and sacred responsibility. Notice they're not condemning insurrection. We urge all people to remember the precious and fragile snowflake nature of freedom and peace. Oh, I put in the snowflake, obviously. As citizens of the United States, look ahead. Notice who's missing in that? Yeah, them. As citizens of the United States, look ahead to the inauguration of a new president. Not them, citizens. We urge. You see how it was worded, though? It's those little shifts in the selection of the words you use that reveal your belief system. This is how I can say their previous statement about congratulating Joe Biden for his victory, yeah, they're now turning on him. We urge our members to honor democratic institutions. Communism? The church now embraces communism? Democratic has been redefined previous to my generation. The word democracy is a form of government in which the people, and only the people, vote for how society should be managed. No representatives. If there are representatives, guess what? It's no longer a democracy. You now have a republic. And in a republic, yes, the people can vote for the popular choice for a representative. That does not make it a democracy. It's a republic because representatives are running things. This is the majority of the people. Majority rules, minority loses. I've gone over this. And processes. And to obey, honor, and to sustain the law. He supports MAGA. They support MAGA. They are letting them get away with it. They are not calling it insurrection. They are not acknowledging the new president. They're not even calling him by name now. Because what if Trump succeeds and coups America? He's the new president. We look ahead to the inauguration of Trump for a second term, for life. Just see how it's important to word things from the beginning correctly. So this is why Mormons run from my videos after putting a thumbs down, is because I word it correctly. The church is evil. The church is corrupt. I am a victim of the church's abuse and crimes against me. It's not complicated. It's not difficult to identify and expose. And it shouldn't be difficult to have them held accountable and punished. And it shouldn't be difficult to call it out. But apparently it is. Because they are complicit and support it and sustain it. And so the violence they're talking about, the lawless behavior, is not from MAGA seeking to save America from a fair and free election. It's those Black Lives Matter with their signs. So, yes, this was a forced response by the lawyers after my emails. So apparently I still have an effect. My number 1 video on this channel is the one where I sent a motion to the court in the first lawsuit informing the judge that Nelson had changed the temple covenant of chastity, law of chastity, to allow for polygamy, and he was pissed with having to do a statement saying that he had changed it again, but didn't tell us specifically what the changes were. So we don't know, but I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with taking away the extra speaking role of Eve or putting back the veil for women. So, yeah, I've done it again, guys. I've got the church to respond. You know you're a big name when the church has to respond to you. And not too many people get that honor. That badge of honor from getting pointed out by the church. So yes, I'm not mentioned here, but the timing, I mean, a week and a half later, then they decide, oh yeah, I guess we should condemn the thing on the 6th, but we'll link it all together in one lump sum. There were bad people on both sides. Good people on both sides too. So will he be gone tomorrow? He's already preparing to do something. He tried to delete all his evidentiary documentation. They told him no. And so now he's got a new CIA person in. And if you're unfamiliar, Bloody Gina Haspel also told him no, he wanted her to do something that she said, I can't do that. Just like Barr, just like everybody, he pushes them to where they say, I can't do that. I've been able to lie for you and cheat for you and manipulate and help with the insurrection, but this I can't do. Whatever this is, they won't tell us yet. Alrighty, I've got 30 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this up in time. So if it ends up later in the afternoon, you'll know why.